it's all the music that gets you stirred and up and about in the morning time, Grenada. I'm waiting down here for you, Lord Jesus. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrick, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you, wherever you are. It is a wonderful, another really glorious day. It's the 14th day of the month of October, and indeed we're happy that you're here, you're up and about, and you've chosen classic in the morning time. It is Thursday morning, another terrific Thursday, whatever you want it to be, but we're grateful that we're here, we're alive, and we're well, and we're in the land of the living. I hope you had a good night's rest, and I certainly want to say good morning to our viewers, our listeners first and foremost, and those that has been with us on Classic 105.5 and 105.9, and those just joining us, the viewers that is, on GBN Television, that's Channel 7, Channel 11, and Channel 20 if you are in cable, or you're probably chiming in via the World Wide Web, or via our website, or via our social media platforms, being YouTube and Facebook. Another great day. Good morning to you. I'm Joseph Cador. Indeed, it's a pleasure being up and about and getting ready to set your day. Yes, you kicked it off with a little bit of music from Shine the Light, if you're old school enough to remember that one. But certainly, you probably want to indulge in it, You wanted to come to your rescue on a Thursday morning. Indeed, that's what you want him to do, to come to your rescue. So we're going to kickstart today with the word of the day. The thought of the day, sorry. What is the thought of the day? Yeah, Mikey, we're going to go with the thought of the day. And as you rouse yourself out of your night's slumber and attempt to conquer the events of the day that is yet to come, allow me to remind you and encourage you, implore you, that life is beautiful. One day, 1 hour, and 1 minute. And will not come again in your entire life. It doesn't matter what you imagine. This moment that exists now, it passes, it transitions itself, and that's it. So, avoid fights, angriness, and speak lovely to every person. That's what I want to encourage you to do today. Because life is beautiful. Take it one day at a time. Live a little, love a little. Yeah? The anger that is boiled up in you, let's allow yourself to release that valve today. Avoid fights, avoid aggressive persons. Indeed, they are a vexation to the spirit. And let us today encourage ourselves to speak lovely words to each and every one that we meet. If we can do that, then it makes life so much easier. So that's the thought for today, reminding us to take life one day at a time. So the word for today is cabal. What is a cabal? Cabal is spelled C-A-B-A-L. The word for today is cabal. And a cabal is a group secretly united in plot. So a group secretly united in plot. So I guess some of you could have your own social cabal, your political cabal. I don't know, you have cabals in the church. Did I actually say that? Yes, I actually did say that. Now, did you know that cabal... Right, and cabal is in fact a noun. Now, did you know that cabal has been associated with a group of 5 ministers in the government of England's, let's say the cabinet of King Charles II? The initial letters of their names or titles of those men were Clifford, Allington, Buckingham, Ashley, and Lauderdale. We spelled cabal, but the truth is that's not where the word originally stemmed from. It actually came from the medieval Latin term Kabbalah, which is K-A-B-B-A-L-A-H, which is the traditional system of Jewish mystics. Quite interesting, and it was later borrowed to Kabbalah with a C, and now it was then over the years it has been reduced to cabal. What is cabal? A cabal is a group that is secretly united in a plot. Let's hope it's a good plot today. Let's assume that's what it is. It's a good plot today. Well, while we're at it, let us look at the COVID-19, the dashboard, and see how much progress that we are making this morning. As of yesterday, the 13th, we had 21 new cases, giving us a total of 234 active cases on island. Number of recoveries, 74. And we noticed, though, that the death column continues to increase steadily. And that's what we want to be particularly concerned about. Only earlier this week, a health officials were saying that there are individuals, of course, who they're coming down with underlying conditions, and a lot of it because, of course, some whatever conditions that there is. I want to encourage you to find a way to manage our situation. I know that I'm not just saying your situation, because you might be surprised that the things we least think about is what may come home to bother us. 18 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. By the way of programming, at 15 minutes, the next few minutes, we're going to have the morning edition, and at that time, you folks in television, we send you back to studio control, to master control, for a repeat of the top stories from last evening. I'll then rejoin you on the other side of the clock, where I'll be linking up with Jervis Dabrio from inside of the Ministry of Education IT department, and we'll be chit-chatting about some of the maintenance and keeping in check the use of some of the digital gadgets that government has provided for the nation's children. Just tips on how you keep it working nice and dandy. 16 minutes onto the hour. The morning edition comes up next. Certainly want to encourage you, as you get up and about, to whisper a little word of prayer, as you go about your daily chores. For those of you that you heading up for 7 o'clock, well, you should be well on your way and within the vicinity or confines of your job place, site, or locale. Until then, do what you have to do to get there safe. COVID-19 protocols, they're in full effect. Ensure you have your mask, sanitize, and do whatever that you have to do to keep safe. Even in the studio, yes, I've got my sanitizer with me, and I'm the only one in here. I'm here, Mike is way on the other side. The morning edition is next, right here on Classic in the morning time. I'll be back with you in television on the other side of the clock.
In what is shaping up to be a rainy Wednesday night comes the issue of flooding across communities across the island. And at least 2 motorists learned the hard way that some floodwaters could be misleading. This is a situation at the Calavini Bridge in St. George that left 2 drivers trying to get their cars out of floodwaters. We thank our citizen journalists for submitting the videos. We urge both motorists and pedestrians who may still be on the road to exercise caution, as the rain is expected to continue. In other news, just 2 days after GBN aired the stories of 2 elderly people being attacked, another elderly woman was reportedly raped and robbed at her home by an intruder. GBN's Rena Perry-Thomas spoke to the family of the latest victim, whose identity will not be disclosed.
Frightened, restless, traumatized, and terrified are some of the words used by Jessie Bowen to describe how her 73-year-old cousin is feeling after she was robbed and raped at her home in the early hours of Wednesday morning. According to Bowen, the victim, who lives alone in the St. Andrews area, was attacked at around 3 a.m. by a man she said was wearing dark-color clothing, gloves, face, and head covering. She repeated the story the victim told her in the Zoom interview.
Around 3 a.m., she heard her front door close, and because of the sound it makes when it's closed, that woke her up. But she lay on her bed trying to figure out, really what was going on, And then she saw a light in her back bedroom. And by the time she think of getting off her bed, the next thing was a man opened her bedroom, which is the first bedroom to the front, and with a knife in his hand against her neck.
She said the unexpected elderly woman was not only robbed of her money, phone, and groceries, but also her dignity.
She offered him, she says, take anything you want. You want money? Take it. He took whatever money she gave him. He also looked under her pillow and saw she had 2 cell phones there, which he took also. With all that going on, he still had the knife at her neck. The next thing he did was push her onto the bed and decided to rape her.
All through the dreadful ordeal, the family members said that the victim stated she was in pain as she suffered from various illnesses. After the intruder allegedly took what he wanted and left, the victim called for help and the police arrived later. At present, the 73-year-old is finding it difficult to sleep in her home and is now living with neighbors until the family put other security measures in place for her safety.
Very shaken up, and she said that every time she closes her eye, what she sees is this figure of this person over her. She's scared to go back to her home. So right now she is at a neighbor. We are going to try to give her that kind of security as soon as possible. And she is a bit hard of hearing. So that's why it took her, I guess, a while to realize that somebody was in her house.
Bowen said the victim received medical attention and a report was made to the police. The family of the victim is seeking justice for their 73-year-old relative. GBN contacted the Royal Grenada Police Force and was told that an investigation is ongoing and that more information will be disclosed to the public soon. Investigation into the rape of 84-year-old Margaret Noel 2 years ago also remains under investigation, as well as the recent attack of vandalism in her home. Police are also investigating the attack on 83-year-old Neville Alexander of Moncton St. Andrew, who said he was attacked by 2 young men on his farm. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Sad, just sad. Moving on, Agriculture Senator Roderick St. Clair says there has been a push towards the return of the Farm Watch program as discussions continue on initiatives to protect farmers and fisherfolk as well as their livelihood. GBN recently carried a story in which an elderly farmer from Moncton St. Andrew was viciously attacked on his farm. While condemning such acts, the senator says there is a need to fast-track the consultations into implementation. Gerard Joseph has that story.
Agriculture Senator Roderick St. Clair says the level of presence for the deterrence of such acts of violence on farmers, as well as prudent larceny, is warranted. Noting the significant basket of contributions farmers and fisherfolk provide toward Grenada's economy, the senator says more respect must be forthcoming. Senator St. Clair says while arming our farmers or the use of cameras and drones have been considered, he believes involving the community will garner a more holistic approach.
You have the community as another layer, who would see, movements in those areas, and they're like informants, if you want to say, who can contribute to this whole issue. So even using the rural police stations like the Birch Grove and Hermitage and all of those helped as another layer. So it's a multifaceted approach.
He says the police also need more resources to handle such crimes and that it be given a priority. The Agriculture Senator points to a lack of policy and human resources to implement measures to eliminate issues facing farmers and fisherfolk as other major factors.
When you look at the Ministry of Agriculture, look at the Ministry of Fisheries, you would realize, and I've spoken to that many individuals from way back when would have gone through retirement, and we have failed to employ and replace these individuals because of this policy. And so if we are doing that, how under heaven, in this whole world, we expect it to happen. If you had someone, for example, responsible for poultry, for example, in the Ministry of Agriculture, who would have retired maybe 2 years now, and you have not replaced this individual, we're not saying that you cannot put somebody there who may kind of keep tabs, but that dedication which is needed is absent. And so this is the first principle for implementation.
Despite the competing interests, Senator St. Clair says the sector deserves more respect in terms of delivery. I am Joseph for GBN News.
It's on the to-do list for many visitors journeying to Grenada. A first-hand tour while taking in the smells and wonders of rum brewing while experiencing the breathtaking scenery on the northeastern shores of the island. However, what has become a mainstay for tourists and locals remains closed as the local tourism industry recovers. Gerard Joseph has the details in this report.
The COVID-19 pandemic brought the tourism sector in Grenada to a standstill in 2020. In 2021, some aspects of some businesses which are tourism-related are still hindered by the restrictions and regulations. The River Antoine Estate is one of those entities which have yet to fully reopen to visitors, students and locals for its popular tours of the facility. The estate's rum distillery is the oldest in Grenada and maintains the old-fashioned method of brewing rum. Since 2020, with the onset of the pandemic in March, tours to view how River's rum is made have been halted. Simon Green of the management team says the decision to resume full operations is yet to be made.
Currently, there's still a lot of conversations along that line, but still there is no clear dates that we have set for reopening. We're still very concerned about the effects of this pandemic on the health of our employees, first and foremost, and of course on the community.
Green emphasizes that the closure has been a major economic hindrance.
We depend a lot on that market segment coming in, whether it's returning Grenadians or visitors coming to our shores. That market is very significant to our business. And the fact we have had scaled down travel, I would say in a major way or a massive way, definitely that has posed, a serious threat, let's say, to our business.
He notes that there have not been any massive layoffs. However, changes in shifts and rotations have been witnessed. No mandates on vaccination will be made, according to the company executive, while complying with the regulations.
We encourage all our employees to make a decision on their health and safety, and of course, be enlightened about all of the pros and cons of all of the health issues or the suggestions that have been made to safeguard them. Consult with your doctors and so forth, and make a conscientious effort to ensure the health and safety of themselves, their loved ones, and by extension, the community.
From the River Antoine Estate, which is one of the most prominent rum distilleries on island and is known for their local tours, I am Gerard Joseph, reporting for GBN News.
How much does a homeless person know about the global pandemic that is COVID-19? Well, GBN's Christelina John has been scouting around St. George to garner some feedback from the people without a fixed board on the ongoing pandemic.
We consider them nomads who oftentimes fall victim to ridicule from those less caring. Daily, they are exposed to the bitterness of the elements. No shelter, no food, and sometimes no clothes, the basic necessities for any human being. The question is asked, who cares? COVID-19 has claimed the lives of so many, and with the recent spike the country experienced, how much does the homeless know about the virus, protecting themselves and getting vaccinated? GBN engaged a few of them, and you'll be surprised how much they were able to share.
I didn't get a vaccination yet. Don't think I want it. I kind of sickly fellow, and I better to live so.
Take the vaccine yet?
Yeah.
Where did you go and take it?
The stadium.
God, well, I take it already, but I asked God to go with me. I didn't go me alone.
Well, when I settle down and I rest myself, I will take it.
They put the 15 out again. They ain't just taking it, you know. Because I had the prettiest man in the country. Bloody put the bag of that.
Treat yourself as possible. Take your medication. Go to
This gentleman is well known for his long-distance traveling by foot. He told GBN he is 67 and worries about nothing else than waking up to see another day. Money does not matter, he says. Walking daily is what keeps him going. However, he is a little bit puzzled about something, he said.
Problem I have. All these people dying in India. And then they give me an injection. It's supposed to ease up all the check it out. All of them just dying. And that injection can help them. I talked twice. Yesterday afternoon, hit myself and said, "Boss, go." But I can again talk. That's one back. But here I go, 1 meal I eat a day. When I go and sleep, I will eat and walk it out. When I eat, I go and sleep. We do chapter in my bed when I go to bed.
Here's what these individuals do as a means of protecting themselves.
It's a protocol. I obey the protocol.
Wonderful.
Yes, I bathing, I washing my hand, I walking, and the sun is very good for it. I hold in the sun, you know.
I just keep myself clean every day.
Christelina John, GBN News.
Jubilation for public officers following a meeting with Minister of Labour Peter David and Labour Commissioner Cyrus Griffith on Tuesday afternoon. The long drawn-out battle that has ensued for months now has a silver lining at the end of the tunnel. Gerard Joseph has the latest update.
It was all smiles as Public Relations Officer for the Public Workers Union, Daisy Hazard, relayed the good news that government will pay the retroactive of the 4% salary increase to public officers at the end of this month. Hazard said Labour Minister Peter David invited the joint negotiating team of PWU and TAU to deliver the news on Tuesday.
Retroactive payment, which was outstanding and which government had previously asked us to accept in the form of a bond, which unions had rejected, that payment will be made. We have assurances from Minister Peter David that that payment will be made at the end of October.
The PRO confirmed that the payment will be made in cash.
It is not bonds at all. We are very, very happy to say it is not bonds. Government had previously asked us, the GNT had asked us to accept bonds, and that bond would have matured in a year from December of this year. And we rejected that. Our membership rejected it. And that is why we are so happy that when Minister Peter David came back to us yesterday, there were no further negotiations, there were no further deliberations, but he just came with the very welcome news that government had, I believe they have found a buyer for the bonds, and so therefore they will have cash to make cash payments to workers.
She said for the unions it was a relief, noting the current climate and not wanting to be in a conflicting situation with government.
It is unfortunate in a way that we were not able to accept bonds, because if we did accept bonds, we would have received that money, let's say a year from now, with a percentage interest. But it speaks to workers' faith in perhaps the administration and in the future that they were not willing at all to accept bonds. And I believe that in making this payment now, government has really taken a big step towards restoring the good faith of unions and among workers as to how workers are appreciated and respected and dealt with.
The retroactive had accumulated from the 4% increase owed from January to July. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, the Public Workers Union PRO says despite the jubilation in their camp, the fight is not over. Ms. Hazard says a large percentage of PWU and TAU workers in the public service did not receive any salary increases at the end of August.
So these workers did not receive the salary increases at the end of August. They will not be receiving any retroactive payments, which along with other workers in October. Nonetheless, these are workers who are long-standing workers of government, work alongside other workers who will establish workers who will receive pay. And government is yet to really give any reasonable rationale as to why it is that there is a huge category of workers that are employed in such a way that when it is time for salary increases duly negotiated by the unions, these workers do not receive salary increases. increases. And there is no other procedural way, systematic way where these workers receive increases.
According to the joint negotiating team of the two unions, it had received word from government that salary increases would be paid to these workers. However, several fixed-term contract public workers, among others, did not receive a salary increase as expected.
We are asking the government, if you're not paying them along with the other members they are paying dues, they are due paying members of the union, they are not receiving salary increases. What then? How then do you propose to pay these workers? Or are you just satisfied that these workers would be on the plan 20 years, 16 years, and they do not ever receive salary increases in any sort of a systematic manner or fashion? It has pertained for too long. It is not a new problem, but it cannot be allowed to continue like that. And so this is the next fight, if you may, or cause that our union is going to be really taking up assiduously going forward.
In other news, people who are unvaccinated may find themselves disadvantaged when trying to conduct business throughout the Caribbean. The CARICOM Secretariat is the latest in a list of institutions and business establishments implementing strict requirements from members of the public.
The Caribbean Community, CARICOM, has implemented a new policy that says access to its offices across the region will be restricted to people showing proof of vaccination against COVID-19. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the Guyana-based CARICOM Secretariat said that the new policy took effect as of October 1st. It said the measure is aimed at providing a safe working environment for its staff, in keeping with attempts to limit the spread of the COVID-19 virus. These measures include proof of vaccination for staff members and all persons seeking to enter our offices to do business. Staff members and members of the public who are not vaccinated would require a PCR test no older than 7 days to enter the offices, the Secretariat said. The statement by CARICOM comes as several regional governments have either indicated a need to establish a safe zone or restrict the entry to public buildings to only vaccinated people. The governments have been calling on their nationals to get vaccinated as a means of curbing the spread of the virus. Since the start of the pandemic last March, Caribbean countries have recorded 339,488 positive cases and 7,884 deaths. Christelina John, GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Pear has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Raped by a masked man 2 years ago, this 82-year-old woman is still traumatized as her home was broken into and ransacked by an intruder. Her story created a buzz as many of our online audience took to the comment section to empathize with her. Margaret Eifels said this should not be happening to our seniors after our seniors have worked hard and now it is time for them to relax and enjoy their retirement. They should not have to worry about these criminals entering into homes. I know this woman from the time I was a child, and this should not have happened or be happening to her or any of the island's senior citizens. I call on the Commissioner of Police to deal with this situation as soon as possible. Ron Charles commented, I grew up in a time when we were taught to say good day to the elderly and each other, a time when we were asked to be each other's keeper. Where we as a nation went wrong. How people get so cold and cruel. I hope one day we as a nation will help bring back civility and love for each other. Our nation is too small to be living like that. Philip Rodriguez says, I call on the Commissioner to make this an emergency case. I am calling on the public to support this lady and call for justice for her. Amna Ali also commented, the world now is full of wicked people who don't fear God, but God would give her the reward when God ready for them. Everyone would want to know how or what happened to that person. God work is slow, but sure as sure can be. That's the buzz for now. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
thought process to the visual impact. It's time to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
Stunning green northern lights dazzled Canada's night sky. The vivid green strands of light danced across the night sky over the Canadian province of Alberta on Tuesday. The aurora borealis, also known as the northern lights, were visible due to the impact of a coronal mass ejection (CME) on Monday. According to NASA, CMEs are formed from clouds of solar plasma combined with embedded magnetic fields, which are released into space following a solar eruption. Tonight's eyesore report came to you compliments a Grenadian based in Canada. We thank our eyesore reporter for this captivating submission. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
World Food Day 2021. The virtual event showcases our food heroes, modern technologies in agriculture, and ingenuity of agro-processors. Celebrate with us our achievement, creativity, and explore the many opportunities in the sector. Be entertained by the best of our cultural extravagance. Join us October the 15th via Zoom, GIS, and Real FM. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture's Facebook page for more information.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Feed babies well after an emergency or disaster. Infants 6 months and older need clean, safe, complementary foods along with breast milk to meet their nutrient needs. Continue to breastfeed while gradually introducing foods one at a time from various food groups. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
The croton scale insect, a new threat to our agricultural production, is now creating major damage to several plants. Mango, soursop, plums, guava, avocado, and crotons are among the main ones affected. Excessive sooty mold, black blight, is associated with this pest. Take action now. Cut and burn infested fruits and shoots. Do not move infested materials to other areas. Treat with horticultural oils and recommended insecticides. Request assistance from the Ministry of Agriculture. Follow all safety protocols when burning trash or applying pesticides. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Some may not understand it, but me stay true to the youth inside. I don't like to see evil, but it's all around the place. With so much political corruption on the block, I feel safe.
and reminding yourself that the only thing that matters is today. If we were just to learn from the thought of the day, which was life is beautiful, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute. It will not come again in your entire life. So today, I encourage you, I implore you to, Jervis W, avoid fights, avoid angriness, and speak lovely words to everyone that you meet today. So that's the word, that's your thought for the day. Just reminding you, we're getting ready to link up with our guest this morning, and we want to be speaking this morning to parents and children, and we'll be connecting with, I don't think he's a stranger to anyone, but he's an IT specialist, he's a counselor, friend. The guy just good, he's good. It's almost difficult when you have to introduce Jervis to figure out how do you introduce him, but I just to tell you, he's a wonderful soul. That's all I can say to you. Good morning, Jervis. How are you, comrade?
Good. Morning, Joseph. All is well. It's a bright day. Thank God for life.
It is a bright day by you? Or you woke up on the bright side?
Yes, it is.
Which one is it?
Well, I woke up on the bright side, but it's also a bright day in beautiful St. Patrick.
You way up north.
Sunny on the outside.
Sunny on the outside. But I'm assuming that you're one of those guys that doesn't allow what's happening on the outside to determine how you feel on the inside.
In most cases, most days, yes, I try to adopt that sort of philosophy. You need the water to get inside the boat to sink it. So if you can protect what's inside, then you're safe. Your ship is gonna, sail just fine.
See, you wouldn't imagine that an IT specialist could sound so philosophical on a Thursday morning. I told you the guy's good. I told you he's good. 19 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time at Jervis Dabrio from inside of the Ministry of Education IT department. Now, Jervis, COVID-19 has thrown us into the online learning curve. Probably a little bit faster than we anticipated, and we're already there. So we're not going to quarrel about whether or not we are prepared for it or not. We already understood the dynamics is there. We are here. But the ministry has made its commitment to assist with the process in that of providing devices to children and students both at the primary and secondary level. And people may quarrel whether they like the device, they don't want the device. Listen, you don't want it, lie down by it. That's all I would say. If you don't want it, lie down by it. You're not allowed to say that, Jervis. You're not allowed to say that. 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 But certainly, while the government has invested heavily in this, whether you want to accept it or not, certainly you want to encourage persons, the users, to take care of the devices. And maintenance of those devices is a critical component of ensuring that government gets the full benefit of being able to recycle it to the next generation of students. And certainly that's where you come in ensuring that both parents and children understand what needs to be done to take care of those devices. So let's talk about the devices that has been distributed. Maybe if you can, just give us an appreciation as to what has happened at the secondary level and at the primary level. And then we just talk about general maintenance tools to keep these devices working properly.
Okay, so yes, it is a huge investment, and it must be seen like that. This Grenada is not just a dot on the world map anymore. As a matter of fact, the world has gotten a lot smaller. Maybe not physically, but in terms of connectivity and how quickly information move and so forth. The dynamics of the workforce and all these things. We're not just competing locally, and we're competing not just regionally either. We're competing on a world stage right now, and that's why I'm saying it's a huge investment. Because if all people had to really get some of the big jobs out there, and I'm not talking just in Grenada, you have to be proficient with the technology. You have to be able to use it properly. Work from home, remote learning, all these things, are made possible because of, the tools and the connectivity and so forth. So it is an investment, and it needs to be seen as such. as I jump across now into the use of the device. Part of maintaining a device is using the device. So you buy a computer, Joe, and you turn it on, then you just turn it off, pack it away. You might be surprised that when you go back to that box, maybe 2-3 months later, that device may not want to work. It's just been sitting there. Some roaches may have moved in, what have you. But generally, electronic devices, and I found that even in my personal space, that you get it, you use it properly, and you tend to get a lot more out of it than if you just bought it and you shelve it for most of the time. So I want the parents out there to understand that the device must be used as part of the entire process. But as you rightly pointed out, we do want these devices to be around for the next generation. And I'm looking here at the form that is coming after those who have the devices now. It's like the book rental program. You're through with this math book for this school year. Children, and they would use the device for extended period of time, and we'll jump to the digital well-being in a little bit. But they cannot allow the devices to just completely drain. It's not just for children; it's for all of us. You have your phone. The battery should not be going to zero very often. Maybe yes, once in every couple of months you have an instance where it's 5-10%, but generally, if you want to get the most
is on my end. I'll take a quick commercial break. Quick commercial break, Grenada. 25 minutes gone past the hour. Quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on Classic.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Let's get tough on breed your larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To Call 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all farmers, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels, and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop radio larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report pre-deal larceny, call 300. Our friends were there. They are. Welcome back to our viewers on television. Before the break, in case you're just joining us, my guest this morning is Jervis Dabrio, an IT specialist from the side of the Ministry of Education. And Jervis, prior to the interruption, we were talking about the need to maintain the devices so that it allows for continuity into the next generation.
Yeah. In terms of repair and even passing it on to somebody else, knowing that some aspect of it was compromised before. So it's not a lot. The parents just need to have a conversation, I think, with their children. Let them know, you need to care it. I'm tempted to say of it as if it's yours, but some people do not care what is theirs. So understand that it is not yours. And if you mash it up, then somebody coming up after, they're not going to benefit from it. And that's not what we want. You want to help those who come after, and even those who, are with you now. So I think, Joe, these little things, if we do that, we should be in a good place as far as the care and so of the devices are concerned. I did mention, when we spoke some time back, that we also need to look at the care of the educational one, 5 minutes, some 15 minutes thereabout. Children should not be sitting, just on a device for 2, 3, 4 hours. You want them to get up, take a break, walk around,
right.
Check the brightness of the screen. Joe, even the headphones you have on now, I'm not sure how loud yours are, but the boys and girls, when they have them on, you need to ensure that the volume is not so high that
Correct.
they're damaging their hearing in the process. But let me say here, and I put out something, I think about 2 weeks ago, on the earbuds. That's those that you pop into the air. You do not want children just swapping it. If they have siblings, they just take it out of one ear and another child pop it in, or you take it out of the child ear, you pop it in yours to hear what's going on. It's for that reason, I do not recommend parents going out there and purchasing earbuds for their young children. Get the headphones, all right? Whether it's those that sit on the air or those that sit over the air. The difference being those that sit on the air, they do not cover the entire organ, but over the air, they cover the entire thing. So there's a bit more immersiveness when it comes to sound and so forth. These are some little things that you can do. Watch the posture. You do not want them being, very, very close to the screen. You do not want them with their necks bent and so forth.
Right.
You want to ensure at the end of the day they consume content they get their education, thing going and going fine, but you do not want a bill coming after. You have to send them, bring them by the doctor because they have neck problem and back problem and eyes problem and ears problem. No, that right there, we want to do as much as we can to avoid those things from happening. And that right there is digital well-being.
There is the concern about the children the line down to attend classes. They seem to assume the most interesting positions. That's the best way to put it. What would you advise children and parents should be their disposition when getting ready for their online activities?
All right, well, that's an easy one. That's an easy one, Joe. What your bed? And I'm not talking about, as an adult now. It's just a human being. So I don't want you telling me, putting up your hand and showing me your wedding ring and so forth. But what is the primary purpose of your bed? It's for relaxation. It's for rest. You go there when you want to sleep. So naturally, when you go on the bed, the system, it is going to be aware that, hey, I should be relaxing. That sort of thing. And you do not want that. Class, you want to be alert. You want to have the mind and soul in the mood for accepting the work, processing that, and so forth. So I do not think it is a very good idea to have children, attending their online classes in bed, while in bed. I do not care how comfortable they are. Even the couch in the living room may not be the best of spaces. You want them to get into that frame of mind for learning. That is why they, normally they go to school, and the class is designed in such a way to sort of facilitate that process. And I'm not here to debate whether it should be in rows or it should be grouped together for collaborative work and so forth. That's beside the point. The idea here pots and pans and so washing the dishes and so forth. You want to give them a space that is quiet so they can concentrate, they can focus on what is going on, where the distractions are at a minimal. So again, you put them in close to the living room and the TV is on, you're watching an action movie, whatever it is that is going on, that is unnecessary distraction. And I want parents to understand this is tough for all of us, but if there is one word that should guide the process right now is sacrifice. And I'm saying sacrifice more on the side of parents. I'd love to be watching my movie now, but hey, my child need, some quiet time. So create that sort of space, that sort of environment. Studies, this is not something that you find in a lot of homes in Grenada. We have a special room for that. So some little corner where you can facilitate that, you do that. There may be some space outside where the child can get the connectivity. There isn't much distraction going out. It's definitely not facing the main road. They get the fresh air. Me, I'm in the country. The air is always nice and pure up here.
Right. I guess you needed to rub that in for me, right?
You want to create that, and Joe, listen, you could always come up. You could come up for a little while, enjoy the pure oxygen, but and so forth. But on a serious note, think about how your child is able to concentrate their best, and good. You want a chair that is comfortable, but one that to sit up right.
Okay.
All right. So that's why I said no to the nice, soft, comfy cushion in your living room, because they're going to slouch. They're going to put their feet up, they're going to be in all sort of awkward position.
Naturally.
And, sometimes years down the road, we realize how something like that really messed up different parts of our anatomy, and we do not want that, Joe.
Let me ask you.
I'm not saying put them in the kitchen. I'm not saying put them in the bedroom. A place that is quiet, that is going to facilitate the process, will work.
Let me ask you before we run, Jervis, are there any limitations to the use of those devices? You did say treat it as your own, but it isn't, but hopefully people will appreciate that. But are these devices, does it allow me to have full unfettered access to the internet? Am I free to watch all my favorite NASCAR racing? Can I do that?
So there are two parts to that, Joe. One is the can you, and two is the should you.
Okay.
So with the primary school devices, we do have some filtering happening on it. That is on-device filtering. So once it is turned on and it's working as it should, they not be able to access certain adult content, pornography and so forth. With the secondary school device, it's a slightly the music videos on YouTube. Should you access that for the entire day? That's a different conversation. And the answer to that is no, it is not healthy for you. All right. The primary school devices, the secondary school devices, PUBG and Free Fire and some of these games, no, you can't. You would not be able to install them and use them. In some instances, yes, you'd be able to install it, but it will not work. You will not be able to get it out of that lock mode so you can interact with it. You're just going to be wasting space and compromising the performance of the device. So yes, you can do certain things, but you shouldn't. And then there's a contract that parents sign, saying they device. If something goes wrong with it, they're not authorized to bring it to anybody outside of the technicians at the Ministry of Education. So these are things that they really should not do. And in some instances, you have to understand, based on what you're trying to do on the device, you could render the device useless to you at some point in time. You mess around with it, for want of a better word, and now it's just not working as it should. I actually had an instance 2 weeks ago where a parent called. The device really was not working as it should, and when I checked, the device was out of space. The primary school device has 64 gigs of internal storage, and it was down to, I think, about 40-something megabytes. What happened? Well, the child went crazy and downloaded everything they could find. Problem is, even though they were able to do it, and you want them to be able to download stuff. When there's program, they have to be able to download some of that, all right? But they downloaded it in attempts to kind of get the games and so to work, and the games are just sitting there using up space. They can't interact with it. But Joe, let me point out here, and I think that's the tip I'm releasing tomorrow in my daily tip thing. Even with all the filters and so, the best form of protecting our children online and getting them to use these devices appropriately is a conversation. All right. You have to talk to the child, and I'll show you this. It's like this. If you talk to your child, don't steal. They're not going to try hacking into anybody's account. If you talk to them about being nice, the cyberbullying problem, it goes away. These are just simple little things. So you do not have to be a techie mommy or daddy. You don't know much about the technology. You just need to let them know, hey, this is what is going on. You need to get up. You need to move around. Put on the device for a little bit. Some kind of problems. They're going to find ways of getting around it. So read the contracts again. You want the children to explore and so, but yeah, there's certain things they really, though they can, they should not be doing it. So Joe, no, NASCAR all day. Check out some TED and
I agree.
Let me point out here before I have to run it, Joe. Let me point out one thing. I want parents to take this very seriously. in my house, there is one principle when it comes to you being online. Every time you come offline, you should know something you did not know before. So you should be a little bit more educated. So if you watch half an hour of, you're going to jump across the TED Ed, you're going to watch a video there, and you are going to be able to tell me something that you did not know. And my daughter was able to tell me, hey, saying donkey ears don't make no sense because turtle live longer than donkey, so it makes sense to say turtle ears. You want to encourage your children to do that, and as adults, do that as well. So Joseph, totally yes.
Totally yes. But before you go there, you keep making mention of TED Ed. Just give some details for the purpose of edifying the public as to exactly what sort of platform that is and where it can be reached.
Right, so that's on YouTube. You have TED Ed, you have Wild Kratts,
yes.
You have Dr. Did you know, Joe, that that's what they said on Wild Kratts, only female mosquitoes bite?
Yes.
So I've started appreciating mosquitoes bite a whole lot more.
I have no problems with that now.
That's biting me.
I have no problems with that now. We are on the same page, bro.
So on YouTube, you have certain channels and they serve up really good content.
Yes.
TED Ed is one of my favorites. You have Wild Kratts, you have Dr. Binox.
Oh, Dr. Binox is really excellent.
It is. And even for the teachers out there, some of the things you want the children to understand, the digestive system, and so forth, Dr. Binox break things down.
Really does.
And that's just 3. There are many others. You know, you just have them go on there, and in the space of 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, they learn something. They can be part of a conversation outside of what is happening on TikTok and so forth. They know more than just what Cardi B's latest music video is and so forth. Because if you're free to compete on an international stage, you know, you have to have international. Working does not count.
I agree 100%. A little bit more of TED Ed, a little bit more of Dr. Binox, a little bit more of Wild Kratts. You would be surprised in these animated series the depth of knowledge that a child can acquire while they were doing. It's actually from back to Dr. Binox. I actually got to know, I don't remember the name now, but do you know, Jervis, what do you call a little piece, the end of the shoelace? Where we normally have that what's it called?
Yeah. I don't. What do you call that?
Boy, I don't remember it, but I heard it on Dr. Binox. I was like, I'm like, there's a name for that? Like, seriously? I thought it was doing just your shoelace. So there's the laces, and on the end of the little plastic, there's actually a name for that. And I'm like, sweet Lord in heaven. Thank you, Dr. Binox. I remember when Teddy, he's watching me like, oh, Daddy, you actually didn't know that, did you? No, son, I had no idea what it was. But thank you.
What I normally do, Joe, what I normally do is when I realize they throw it at you, say you didn't know that. Of course I knew that. I just want to see if you knew that. I mean, I know that.
They actually, children actually still buy that? They don't buy that, Jervis. They know that we don't know.
I think they just sympathize, and in some cases empathize with me. And
Yeah. Nice try. Anyway, Jervis, thanks a lot, buddy. Always appreciate the time. Appreciate the effort to, of course, disseminate this sort of information to keep the nation's children and even our adults in the know. Thanks a lot, and keep doing the great job that you are doing.
Hey, have a great day.
All the best to you, comrade. 15 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. We take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we continue with the program right here on Classic and GBN Television.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 gigabyte daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 gigabyte daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in my Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Consumers Guarantee Insurance advises the public of a temporary change to their office hours, effective September 28. The new hours are Mondays to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. These office hours will continue until further notice. As we continue to cope with this pandemic, all are reminded to remain safe and follow all COVID-19 protocols. We thank you for your understanding and cooperation.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Feel good facts.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Feel good facts.
Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Grenada's chief medical officer has ordered that all confirmed positive COVID-19 individuals, their contacts, and members of their household must remain in quarantine or isolation for 14 days. Anyone who fails to comply with this order will be in breach of the Public Health COVID-19 Regulations 2020 and is guilty of an offense. Upon summary conviction, that person will be liable to a penalty of up to $10,000. A message from the Ministry of Health.
To get them into their own little world. You don't want them into their own little world. You want to be able to be there with them and to be able to manage. And as Jervis said, encourage your children that each time they come offline, that they should have learned something that they didn't know. Add to their reservoir of knowledge. It allows them to become a better person, deepen the conversation, the insights, and everything else as it is. And that's what we want to be able to encourage our children to do. Reminding you folks, as you go through the day at COVID-19, remember that you can give, in case you need to be tested, vaccinated. That happens at different sites across the island. Every day at all of the health stations, the health centers across the nation, you can attend to, you can visit them, but you are reminded that at the health centers you have to make an appointment. Certainly you would appreciate why that needs to be done. You do not want, of course, to have overcrowding at those locations, and because of the limited stretch resources that there is, you would want to ensure that you call. I'm just going to try to pull up the telephone numbers available to you in just a bit here, but also there is services available at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium that you access through gate letter B, at the stadium. You want to check them out there. I'm just trying to go through it to see if I can get the locations actually for you Right, here we go. So for the week, October 11th up until the 15th. So for today, at the Kirani James Stadium, through Gate B, and in all of the health centers. Now, what are they? You're probably asking, well, what are the numbers for the health centers? Let me provide them to you. The numbers for the health center. The health center in St. George, it's 440-3371. If you're in Grand Bras, it's that area in St. Andrews area, 442-7623. In St. David, 444-6248. In Certez, 442-8317. If you're with Guelph, it's 444-8414. And in Hillsborough, Carriacou, 443-7280. Those are the numbers that are available to you so that you can call and get an appreciation as to what is happening out there. Yep. So, again, reminding you that parents, you have a responsibility to, first to your children, make sure that the devices, and starting today, make sure that the devices, that don't let children get into the culture of lying down on their bed and telling you they're online, they have classes. You don't lie down at school. Certainly, you should not be lying down when you're at home either, and that's a no. Reminding you at the top of the hour is going to be a bulletin of news from the BBC at 9. We join our friends on television for To The Point for today, the 14th day of October, and our guests, we're expecting officials from inside of the Ministry of Agriculture. Tomorrow is a special day, more ways than one. Tomorrow, to keep in mind, it's World Food Day celebration, all virtual, and trust me, you're not going to miss anything because GBN is going to provide you wall-to-wall coverage of those details as well as it is. So you're not going to miss it in any way, form, or fashion. I just want to give you a few bits of information before we run out here. It's not, sometimes you think you have it right where you need it on your device, and then it doesn't. It isn't available. But certainly, I'll provide you that information later on as we go through the day. 5 minutes on to the hour. This is where we leave it for now. Those of you that's taking work for 8 o'clock, wishing you a very productive day. Those of you that are already on the GRB, like myself, we continue to do what we do, continue to be the best version of ourselves. Reminding you that yesterday is all gone in this history, gone forever. Tomorrow is yet to come. It is the future. We live for today. Enjoy the gift of today, which is present. You accepted it with all open hearts. Yeah? Have a great one. JC loved you. We'll leave you here for now.